What has it been like for you becoming a mom and having a daughter?
I tell you something, there's no textbooks about it, is there? No one tells you what it's really like. I have to say that I had her when I was in my later years, and I was just about to say I wish I had her in my early years, but actually the way things turn out in your life are the best ways for you. And it's I feel like I maybe don't have as much energy as I could have had when I was a bit younger. That's the only reason why I would say, I wonder if things would have been different if I was younger. But actually being a mum now is amazing. It's amazing. And the fact that I had a little girl, I didn't know if it was a girl or a boy until she was born. So I was kind of, in the dark and wondering, would I be any different with a boy or would I be any different from with a girl? But, she's on the bicycle. Well, she's grown out of it now, but she's been sat on the bike with me since she was being born. And I would like her to be as independent as me. And yeah, I mean, I love being a mum. It's a challenge being in full-time work, it's a challenge being in film, I have to say. And one of the biggest things that happened whilst I was pregnant with my daughter, and in the first, I guess, 1.5 years of having her, that as a filmmaker, it just wasn't, I almost had to maybe say to myself, I had to give it up because it just didn't fit, being a director in film and doing 12-hour shifts and, and doing 12-hour days and having a baby that you still feeding, physically feeding, it just wasn't working out. And so that was very disheartening.
We have 2 boys, 8 and 6, and we've had lots of conversations around this because also, I was making the film about girls' education in India, and it's hard for moms, isn't it? On one hand, or for women, on one hand, they're sometimes there's the idea that you should be working if you're going to fulfill all your potential, etc. So it's almost like, people will criticize you if you stay at home, people will criticize you at work or whatever. How you've managed, obviously you're finding a good balance now. But how did you, what sort of thoughts went through your head when you thought you might have to kind of give up your work, and how did you navigate your way through that? How was that for you? I remember becoming a dad. It took me a while to really kind of grow into it, although it was obviously magical. And I think as parents, it is the most wonderful thing, but also probably the most challenging thing that we will ever take on. It's great to hear Sima sharing here as well as how, as a mom, that she's balancing, work and trying to balance her family life. It's a real challenge. I'd love to hear your stories about this, or just share your reflections or any wisdom that you have on this, and maybe tag anyone below if they're your partner, they're your husband or wife, to maybe spark a conversation between yourselves on this topic and how it relates to your lives. And hopefully in so doing, it will bring us all closer together. If you'd like to hear the whole interview with Sima, you can on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any other platforms. Please rate and review the podcast, and I'll be reading out reviews on future podcasts. In the meantime, see you on the next podcast and have a great week.